Hi guys, Kiki here. Today I'm back with a video and I've come bearing gifts. I got my new computer and I've been working on some projects to help me transition from Blender 2.79 to 2.8. Unfortunately, due to compatibility issues, I actually remain to use 2.79 mostly. However, it's a little buggy on my new computer and it keeps crashing, so I do need 2.8 for certain things. The reason why is to make custom content. I use the Sims 4 Studio that only works with Blender 2.78. However, that version doesn't work for my Mac, so I've been using 2.79 for modeling and then 2.78 for uploading and extracting, and 2.8 is not compatible with either because it uses a different system like collections rather than layers. So anyway, long story short, it won't be my main tool, but whilst experimenting with this new version, I created, for lack of a better word, a stuff pack, and I created lots of hairstyles and clothing items, and the pack is called Tears and Tiaras. Yes, I know the name is a little lame, but I really couldn't think of anything better. So how it came about, I wanted to do some gameplay where I was going to experiment with privilege. So I have two save files for the same sim, and in one save file I'm going to start off with as little as I possibly can, and then in the other save file I am giving my sim everything that the Sims world has to offer, and I wanted to see how far I could get with both versions. So they're both starting out as a toddler, and I was in cast to create my sim, and I noticed that we barely have any toddler hairstyles. And none of them were messy, like what I was looking for. Now, I know that I don't have that toddler stuff pack, but when I went to check out that particular stuff pack, then it didn't have anything that I wanted. So I immediately exited out of the game. And then I started creating a hairstyle for my toddler, and it just kind of cannonballed and got out of hand and went on a tangent from there. So it turned into a stuff pack. Anyway, this is basically all the items that I've created, but I will take us into game right now. Here we go. So I can show you exactly what I've been creating. So I started off with a family. So it's the same sim. So she's got two families. So it got to the hair, and I really like that hairstyle that we have from Discover University that has that front to it. It's the one with the ponytail. I'm obsessed with it at the moment. I think it looks so good. I mean, they all look good, but that one just particularly really tickles my fancy. And then I really like to create some pigtails for the toddler as well. So I used the front of the Discover University hairstyle, and then the pigtails from, I think it is a child hairstyle from Outdoor Retreat. That's what the pack is called. So yeah, pigtails from Outdoor Retreat, although I've heavily modified them and shortened them to create these cute little stubs. And then the front hairstyles from Discover University, as I said before. And it does come in loads of different colors. Now I know that Sims aren't toddlers for very long, so maybe that's the reason why they hardly ever make toddler hairstyles, but it comes in all those colors, and it also is compatible with hats. I really did go the extra mile for this, okay? I was trying to learn 2.8. I went the extra mile. So that was that, and then I went back into game. I tried to find an outfit for her, but everything was all so clean and neat that and I didn't want that. I wanted something a bit more lived in that hasn't been replaced, because they don't really have the funds or the means to replace items. So I created a torn t-shirt, and it's also got grubby specks and flecks on it. So it's got a couple of different recolors on it. They're mostly based off of the prints that you see from the t-shirt of Jungle Adventure. This is all base game compatible though, and I just made it faded, like the prints coming off, and then you can have like a cleaner version that just has tears in it, or like the grubby version that has like an overlay of extra dirt on it. So that was the first one, and then after that took quite a long time, but I was all set up and ready to go. And then I thought, well, what if she turns into a child and I can't find anything, and then I'm going to have to do this process again? Let's just do it now. So I went in game, tried to find something for a child, couldn't find something that I really wanted for this particular child. So I just went from there and started creating things. But as I said, I really did like that Discover University hairstyle. So I thought, let's use that as a base and move from there and just adjust that hairstyle as she grows up. So for a child, I went with this hairstyle. So again, it's the same front, but it has a side braid that is based off of one of the hairstyles that came. I don't know what pack it came with, to be honest, but it's also slightly modified to be a bit shorter and stumpier. So just like, you know, messy hair, lived in, running around all day working. So yeah, and going to school and such. So, and then for the t-shirt, I think that t-shirt is actually based off of a t-shirt from Island Living, I think. No, yes. So this is the t-shirt that that I based it off. Like, it has the little chunks out of the bottom and the sleeves, but it has this long sleeve t-shirt underneath it that I just didn't want, because I wanted it to be a bit more breezy. This is very hot for an hour. I mean, I know you're trying to stop your child from burning in the sun, but for me it's a bit much. So I took that undershirt off and then gave it the torn or ripped look again. There's also some tears on the back there, and this one also comes with different prints. I just took some prints from other t-shirts that are in game and put some overlays on it to make it grubby, and so you have some extra recolors for it. I don't know if I will use them. I do like this one. This one, for some reason, reminds me of a football t-shirt. I don't know why, but it does. So yeah, so I'll just be using the white for it for my sim, but it does have other recolors if you so fancied. If you are doing a gameplay where you want, like for instance, you're doing the island challenge or for something, then you could, you know, you wouldn't want something like this. I think I do. I want it. That's why I made it. And then when she grows up into a teen, I'm hoping that, so I haven't actually got to the gameplay itself because I've just been creating the assets for it. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to save up enough money with my sim to be able to go to university. And then when she does go to university, by that point, hopefully she'll know how to use a needle and thread. So the tears in the t-shirt have been stitched up, so she doesn't have to go to university with tears in her clothes, although the shorts still have tears in the clothes. But anyway, so that's the t-shirt that I created for her. It's just a Henleys, ripped Henleys tank top with some buttons open and then some stitching on the side. This one is more modeled. It had to be created from several different things rather than just a retexture, and you can also see for the retexture that it's not entirely Max's match, but enough for me. Like, I really had to work on that texture myself, so that's why it doesn't look entirely Max's match. But it does have different recolors as well. If you wanted to use that t-shirt, then you can. And then with the hair, again, I decided to go for a messy bun. It's a really simple one. It's just the Discover University hairstyle and then with a bun rather than the ponytail, and I've slightly reduced the hump as well. The poof that was on her hair, if we just quickly go to Discover University and see what that one looks like. So when she becomes an adult, I'll just be using the Discover University hairstyle. That's this one. But as a teenager, I will be using the messy bun that I created for it, and it's all base game compatible. But when she grows up and uses the Discover University, then obviously I'd have to use the pack Discover University. But then again, she's going to university, so I'll have to use that pack anyway. So, moving on to the other side of things. So on the flip side, the other save game where my sim is basically going to be handed everything that the Sims world has to offer. Okay, so to take a step back from that, before I started on all this, I had some inspiration for a hairstyle, and it was based off of Tom Riddle from the Chamber of Secrets, you know, his younger version, not the child version, but the teen version that we meet. I've forgotten the actor's name, but I really like that sort of wavy, classic, vintage look. So I also always kind of wanted to create that, and we don't have that many male hairstyles in The Sims. So I decided to create one, and it's based off of that. I think I've got a picture of it, so let me just quickly grab that. There we go. Oh, that's very small. Is this? Yeah. So that's what that is based off of. So let's go back. And then I thought, well, as I'm going with like a more fancy side as well, like a more uptown side, I figured I could add that hair into this pack have a male adult version. Everything is very heavy on the female items, but that's because my sim is female. So anyway, then I decided that for the hairstyle, I'm not really that huge on fashion. I know nothing about fashion, to be honest, but I don't know. I tend to base it off of characters and storytelling. So I don't really know that much about fashion. So I just tried to find some inspiration, and for some reason, I don't know, I ended up with Ariana Grande, and that doesn't have anything to do with the story that I was trying to tell, but I just wanted to create something for the upside of things as well. So I used that as my inspiration. So I wanted to create a high ponytail. So that's how we got here. I created this. I didn't like it when I was finished with it. I mean, only because it doesn't really look like Ariana Grande's hairstyle. Not that it needs to technically, because I just used it as an inspiration. But I wanted to try again. And then when I tried again and I was happy with my results for that one, I actually did really like this hairstyle just as a separate thing. It's just that it failed to look like what I was trying to make it to look like. So that's why I didn't like it initially. Afterwards, if you take it away from what I was using as the inspiration for it, I actually do quite like the hairstyle. So it does come with all the different colors. I did create all the colors for it. And also, I think with hats, it's not super... Oh, wait, I did create... Oh, I thought I went very lazy with the hat cuts, but I didn't. I actually did a proper hat cut. Okay. I don't think I did for the next one, so sorry. I never use hats in The Sims anyway, but if you wanted to, then this one doesn't have a lazy hat cut. Moving on to the next version that I tried to create. So again, based off of, considering that the first attempt failed, based off of Ariana Grande's hairstyle, there was one that I found. Let me bring it up as the picture. Here we go. It was the high ponytail with rings in the little braids that she has, and I was like, ooh, that's nice. That's a little bit edgy. I'd like that for the teenage hairstyle. So moving back into The Sims. So that's what I created. So it's a high ponytail with rings in the hair just as an extra accessory. The rings were taken from... So in this one, she has the hair rings, so I just took those hair rings and put it in... What are those at the top doing? I don't understand. But yeah, I put it in the braids. So unlike this one where the rings are in the hair, it's actually a separate accessory, because I thought it might just also be nice to have the hairstyle without the rings. I mean, they bring a bit of edge to it, but it's not necessary. So if you take the accessory away, it's just a high ponytail with braids. And it does come in different colors, but I did do the texture for this one a little bit different than the other ones. So it doesn't have the brown gray and the black gray. It stops there because they're not as easy to replicate in the way that I've done the color for this one. So it has everything but those. But considering that I'm using this for the teen style, I didn't necessarily need the gray. Although sometimes teenagers do go gray. I do have a friend who went gray when she was not even 20. So it can happen. No gray shaming. But so yeah, I'm sorry if that's you and you can't use the grayer versions for that. But it was more difficult to do in the way that I textured this hairstyle. So the accessory is actually a earring. There we go. And I did, also one of the reasons why I created it as a separate item is because I wanted to give it color options. I wasn't sure what color options I wanted to use, so I just randomly chose some. I think I will just stick with the silver, but just in case, if you were interested in using some of the other colors, then you can. There's some other color variants in there, so you can change up the color. Like, I don't know, you could go really cool with the colors. I don't know. If you wanted to, you could. So, oh no, I'm gonna, sorry. Okay, so now we're back to what it used to be. I'll do the uniform now, actually. Yeah, so we'll go with the clothes option. I did a couple of t-shirts for the other version, so I did want to create some clothes for this version as well, the Uptown version, but I didn't want to pretend like I knew what high-end fashion or expensive fashion was. So what I used for storytelling, so I based it off of that storytelling and character, is that I thought, well, what if they go to a fancy boarding school? I don't know, I never went to a boarding school. I never even had to wear a school uniform, but I thought let's base it off of that. I did recently watch The Crown, where Charles got all ready for his time at Eton and was trying out his school uniforms, but then had to go to a different school in Scotland in the end, and I do really like The Crown. Anyway, different story, but just, you know, that's sort of where my inspiration came from, is that sort of boarding school look. Anyway, it's created from a jacket from Discover University that I think you need to unlock or something because you can't see it, but that's where the cardigan comes from. And then the shirt with what I'm pretending is a student pass is actually from, again, it is base game compatible, but that's sort of what I used for my inspiration for this. Is this t-shirt, and then the jacket is this one, and then there's a skirt that I used for it. This one. This is the one. This is the one that I used for it. Oh, interesting. So this is the skirt that I used as a base with that other shirt, and then with the cardigan in it as well, all combined into one sort of school uniform. And I did remove those headphones, and then for my and the thing that you see on here is actually a wall decal from Discover University of one of the, I think, Brychester, I think. And I put it on the shirt, on the jacket, sorry, as a sort of emblem. And I made a custom version for myself where it actually has her photo on it. So it's a student pass with a photo on it. Otherwise, you can't get your discount. It needs to have a photo and a date. Come on, guys. So that's for that. And it does come in loads of different colors as well. It comes with the, I should have looked up what that's called. Let me very quickly. Well, when I Google it, it comes up with tartan. So if I just Google tartan pattern. Yeah, so it's called a tartan. I immediately forgot what it was called. And then just a brown. And then this is based off of, I had one job where I had to wear a uniform. And even though I really don't like wearing a uniform, we did all look very smashing in our uniform as a group. And that's what this fabric is based off of, the sort of pinstripe navy blue. And then again the tartan pattern, red with tartan green with tartan, all we're missing is the Hufflepuff colors, guys. I'm actually a Ravenclaw, so I guess I'd be sporting this color, and if I had gone to Ilvermorny I would have been a Pugwudgie. There you go. Anyway, going on to the child. So this is the hairstyle that I created for the child. I wanted to stay in the high ponytail sort of sector. I used the Ariana Grande's hairstyle as an inspiration for the teen and the adult, so I figured let's stay in the high ponytail style. So, but I wanted it to be a bit more messy, a bit more loose, because children play and they roughhouse, and then, you know, by the end of it their hair just looks like a mess. This is also my lockdown hairstyle. When I finished it I was like, that's exactly my hairstyle. So I definitely noticed that when the ponytail starts with falling to the back, but you keep tightening it up during the day, and somehow at the end of the day it sort of ends up slightly to the side. So that was definitely, I guess, subconsciously inspired by my own hair at the moment during lockdown, although it's not that heavy of a lockdown anymore. And it also comes with, oh, I never showed the hat cuts of this one. These hat cuts are not fancy at all. Yeah, I was very lazy with these hat cuts. But anyway, so for the child, I think I went very lazy with hat cuts with this one as well. Did I? Oh, this one doesn't have any. Oh, is there a hat that actually requires a haircut? Yeah, so it has one, but not super intense on it, and comes in different colors as well. And thankfully for the children, they don't have 18 colors that you have to make 18 recolors of the majority of the colors that you will never use, but just 9. I think it's 9, yeah. And then also it comes with a school uniform that I adjusted for a child. Child compared to teenagers do have a very different body style, so it did take a really long time to model. And for this one, I just took the student card away because it's not necessary. For a child, you don't need a student pass. So, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, I didn't notice later on when I finished the toddler hairstyle that I used this as a base for, that there was actually an issue with this one. There's a gap in the mesh, but only in game. So there's not an actual gap in the mesh when I created it. And I don't know how to fix it. So, I mean, for the child, it's not that noticeable. So, I only noticed it when I finished the toddler. So let's go to the toddler. Again, I used that hair that I created for the child as a base for this, and then just gave it a different ponytail. Yeah, indeed. So it also comes in those 9 different colors, and then also has some lazy hat cuts with it, nothing too fancy. Yeah, so you can kind of see it already here. So the gap that I was talking about with the child, it's here as well. So I can understand if you don't want to use this because it has that issue that I can't fix. It's not an actual gap in the mesh. It's all weight painted the same. It's all attached in the UV1 map. It's all painted in anyway where you paint what decides whether it moves with the head or not. It's all been done, but for some reason there is still a gap. It's still torn above the ear, but I have decided I don't know how to fix it. I did create a different version of this based on toddler hairstyles. I preferred this one. I just thought this one looked nicer. When you're even zoomed out to this extent, you don't even see it anymore, and in game you will never see it. So I decided I'm okay with it. You know what, I don't care. I would still rather use this than any of the any of the hairstyles that we have in game, just because of the storytelling and the way that I just like this one. It's cute. I'm sad that it has that gap, but on the other hand, I really do like how this one turned out, so I'm still going to use it. I mean, I understand if you don't want to. Fine with me, I don't care. So here we are in the game itself, and palm tree. So here is the house that I will, I just wanted a roof. The house that I will be starting off with for this side of the storytelling. It is based off of the fishing village in Halong Bay. So Halong Bay is a fishing village in Vietnam. and this is kind of what I used as an inspiration for the house that I built. I mean, surely my house is not a village, but yeah, that is sort of what I used as an inspiration. So let's quickly go back to the game. Yeah, it's basically a fishing farm, that's what I was looking for. So it has these fishing nets in there, and I also place these fishing signs so that the fish will actually spawn in the fishing nets. I mean, sometimes they will swim a little bit outside of the net just because the way that the object works, but you know, it is what it is. Close enough. And then when I was creating this, this was a path, but for some reason this had a glitch. I think it might have to do with the slope of the, oh my god, with the slope of the ocean floor, that this didn't connect even though there was a path here. And I tried moving the house, but because I used move objects for a lot of the objects that I have on here, I had to keep removing everything and fixing everything every time I moved it. So after a couple of attempts and it not fixing the issue of this path not actually working, I decided to just go with it, and I removed the path and then put some steel beams there with some planks, and that was all positioned there with a tool mod from Twisted Maxi. I wish I knew about this tool mod a lot faster, like earlier, because I love it. It leaves so much for creativity. And then I've also got these barrels underneath the house that just are supposed to, you know, help give it some extra buoyancy. I did recently get eco living as well, so I got some planters, dew collector, and then some bugs. Hopefully they can eat them to get some source of protein, along with the fish, I guess, is also a source of protein. And then if I lower the ceiling, they don't have a lot. I had to have a toddler bed for the toddler, and then he's going to sleep on a towel. They actually quite enjoy napping on the towel. It brings them happiness, even if it's inside, so it's a bit of a cheat. And then for the potty, I actually made a recolor for it as well, just because all the potties look so colorful and new, and I wanted something that looked a bit more dilapidated. I didn't include it in the pack because who wants to download a potty? But yeah, that's basically the house. I'm really happy with how this house turned out. I really like it. It's perfect. And then this is the dad. So this is the t-shirt. Oh, you too. So cute. I mean, you turn your eyes away for 1 second. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, didn't mean to click. That's adorable. Oh, it's really cute. Okay, anyway, and then for this one, oh no, let's not go there. I also created a little market where he'd be able to oh yeah, so the mother is in the world as well. She's in here somewhere, might run into her, but I just wanted the toddler to grow up with one parent, just, you know, because it's a bit more challenging rather than having 2 parents at your disposal. So their relationship broke up. She's moved somewhere far away to try and, you know, create a better life, and they're still here in their fishing farm together. This is where she'll grow up. And then I also have the mod that is supposed to spawn market vendors. I don't know, I haven't actually tested it yet, but that mod is by Little Miss Sam, so I'm hoping that it will at some point spawn some NPCs, so these more market stalls will be filled. But yeah, this is basically going to be a place where he can sell his fish. Ta-da! I should have gone into that cinematic camera mode. Okay, so that is the downside of things. Then on the flip side, we have this house, really fancy tropical mansion that I built. I did a house building video about it. I didn't yet post the interior decoration for it, although I did record it. Just a quick tour, so living room, hallway, kitchen, a little outside area where you can sit. And then I also had a living room for the parents with an ensuite, a toddler room with an ensuite, the nanny room with an ensuite. I don't know if nannies actually stay in the house, but it's there. And then the butler room with an ensuite. Like I said, this child is being overloaded with all the attention in the world. And then here we have a gym, sauna, bathroom, and an office. And then outside we also have a bar area, a lounge area, and then a jet ski and a boat. So yeah, lots of things to develop skills, to develop as a person. I mean, I would assume it would take you forever to get to school, but yeah. So in this, oh god, in this gameplay, she is gonna have both of her parents. So this is the hairstyle that she has. Oh, I think it's raining and she doesn't like it. So there we go. Yeah, so that's what that, and the house is based or inspired by the Molo Mansion from the Philippines, which is right here. So yeah, that's sort of what I use as an inspiration for this build. I basically googled tropical mansion, and that's where I ended up. So that is the stuff pack that I created. It is called Tears and Tiaras, as it's two separate things. There we go. So yeah, the stuff pack contains 3 hairstyles. Sorry, not 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hairstyles, 3 t-shirts, 2 school uniforms, and an accessory. Oh, and I forgot to say also the socks, because we have these socks that come to there, but I just created over knees for them for this pack. So it comes with that. So the socks, the hair accessory, the 2 school uniforms, 8 hairstyles, 3 t-shirts. Yeah. So that's what's in there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll enjoy the pack that I created, and I'm certainly enjoying being back into things and creating things again. I do think I'll be creating more tutorials. They will be heavily focused on Blender 2.79. As I said, 2.78 is not really that compatible for what I want to create, although it really is a cool program, and I do really want to work into it more, but it is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.